Hello, and welcome to another episode of Ow Bear Soup. I'm Justin.
And I'm Rich.
Oh,
Felt
man.
like we needed some magic there.
yeah. It's it was a little bit of a tough morning getting up. I think all around. The holiday kind of threw my schedule off just a little bit. But here we are, ready to rock, ready to
Yes.
roll,
On
ready
this
to
day
do our
that is totally
last
Sunday.
Yeah, to do to do our last stream of last stream of 2020.
Yeah. Right?
Uh,
Kind of
so
snuck
good.
up, weirdly. I've been waiting for it, but also I wasn't ready for it. So here we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 2020 has gone by in a flash. At the same time, it's been the longest year ever, right? So,
Yes. Yeah.
right, it's simultaneously the shortest and the longest year ever. Hey, Hudson, nice to see you. Oh man. So I guess off the top of your head, like, what are a couple highlights of 2020 for you especially in relation to gaming and even specifically D&D?
Oh my gosh. This year's been wild for me, I think, because I put out a book this year. That was great.
You did.
Is that this year? Yeah, at the
Yeah.
start of the year.
Yeah. Mhm.
This is the year I started working on games full time, so it's been a big deal. And let's see, since putting out Empyrean Investigations, also started the summer camp and the academy. Like I've just been playing D&D all the time. Um, I realized we were talking for a little bit about running a Tuesday night game, I think,
Yeah.
at one point, looking
Mhm.
on Roll20 to join a game. And that would have been a day where I ran 2 games of D&D and then played in a third game.
Yeah.
And I haven't had that since college.
I don't know that I have the stamina for that anymore. 3 D&D games in a day.
And
Oh
I got to wake up
man.
and do it again the next day.
Yeah. Oh man, life was good.
Right. Right.
Oh
Yeah.
man, but now we're looking for a Sunday evening game maybe. So that should be a
Right.
ton of fun. Yeah, just to play,
Every
not to
day.
stream,
Every
not to do
day.
anything, just to play.
No,
Uh
just to play.
yeah, oh, you also put out a couple other DM's Guild products over this past year as well.
Yeah, I put out Beast Bonded, which was a lot of fun. Why am I blanking? Totally blanking. And then writing a bunch of stuff just for the
Yeah.
the academy as well. It's been a lot of fun, just kind of seeing what people think about how I run this
Mhm.
weird campaign for kids.
Yeah, and
I'm
you
trying to think.
you
Mhm.
helped put out a puzzle book with Mike Selinker.
Oh gosh, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've been working on that for years, so now it is out. It's released. It's free. It's great. Not free. You have to pay for it, but actually, no, it is free as well. You can get the PDF online
Oh, you can
at
get the PDF.
uh, yeah, off the Lone Shark game site. Absolutely, we want
Oh,
everyone to
nice.
read that book.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's been a weird year because I think I haven't been paying, even though we're doing this, as much attention to like the newest releases
Mhm.
besides major things for D&D, like Tasha's coming out. Yeah, kind of let some of that stuff slide, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we haven't really been paying that much attention to Pathfinder 2, which I'm hoping will change a little bit. Definitely
Hmm.
want to dive into the sister system of our beloved Dungeons and Dragons. And I think we're probably just by the nature of the beast going to start doing that some more in 2021. I'm looking forward to that.
I think so.
Yeah. For me, 2020 was a lot of DJing, a lot of this
Hmm.
podcast. Like we started this in 2020, so that's a good thing to come from 2020. And Maisie joined our lives, our wonderful dog. So that's also another highlight for me of 2020.
Yeah.
More specifically gaming related. I took my campaign that I'd been running with the same group for like a few years, and we have gone virtual tabletop. We are doing Roll20,
Right.
and it was a tough adjustment at first, just because of the way I like to run versus the way Roll20 wants you to run, and adjusting things for that. But I think we're in a pretty good spot now. I think the party's having a good time, and I think we're going to finish out this campaign on Roll20 regardless. And then
Oh,
afterwards, if we do another campaign and everyone's got vaccinated, then we'll consider doing it in person. But I think
sure.
at this point, a dungeon crawl is a great way to use Roll20, and we are doing the biggest dungeon crawl for 5th edition right now.
Of course. Of course. That's amazing.
Yeah. So anyway, that was us reminiscing about 2020.
Wow.
Chat, if you guys have any highlights of 2020, we'd love to hear 'em. In the meantime, there's some news. There's a few news
Hmm.
items.
Hmm.
Let me
Right.
kick off with mine. I have one that's
Yeah.
pretty mundane, but I really like the minis. Just talking about Pathfinder 2, Paizo and WizKids. WizKids, the maker of all minis for our favorite games,
Hmm.
are releasing Pathfinder Battles Darklands Rising. So this is to go along with the Darklands Rising AP, and then these are scheduled to score in April of 2021. But if you look at these minis, they are all like they are very like Halloweeny, very There's like one that looks like he has a metal head. Oh wait, is this Starfinder? This may even be Starfinder. No, it's not. Okay,
Oh,
never mind. There was just a cool creature in there that looked very Starfindery. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a cool set. And also kind of on the minis, just real quick. WizKids also is unveiling another of their Dungeons and Dragons Chromatic Dragon series. They're going to be releasing an adult
oh, really?
Blue Dragon premium figure, and it looks great. It looks real
That's
good.
fantastic. Ah, I love those.
All right, that was my news, or that was half my news.
Well,
What you got?
That's pretty good because I think my Pathfinder time has not led me down to the Darklands very often. That's their version of the Underdark.
Oh,
So I'm excited to see what's up there.
nice.
Well, my bit of news is more of a discussion. I had a question for you because Ian
Okay.
World has been running this vote recently. I think it was just yesterday. Vote for the most anticipated RPGs of 2021. Year's not even started yet, but we have news about RPGs being released. My question for
Okay.
you is how many do you think are on the list? You can vote for 3. How many options do you think there are?
4.
4. Yep, right. I mean, all we do is talk about D&D and Pathfinder, and that's about it, right? That's the
Yeah.
only RPGs that exist. 75.
Okay. 75.
I should have waited until the fluid was in your mouth and then said 75.
Yeah. 75. 75
75.
RPGs coming up. Like,
Mhm.
so, like, these aren't. Wow.
Yeah, so we've got things on here like Altered Carbon, which I've been excited to see how they're going to approach that.
See, I
Dune,
thought
of
that one was
course,
already
which I
out
think
too.
is the big winner.
Okay, Dune. Yeah,
Right.
Dune.
Dune. Everway Second Edition, very excited about that. Did you ever play Everway, the original?
I did not.
Oh my gosh. It's a game that you play with a deck of tarot cards, and there were no real rules for resolution.
Oh no.
It was just flip a card and say what happens. It is the tarot, so just go for it.
Oh wow.
And so it was fantastic just coming up with how in the world you would do that. Like, well, you're a fire 7 character doing a punchy fiery thing, and you flip the 7 of cups. Look,
Oh wow.
it was incredible. I can't wait for the second one.
Oh wow.
What else?
I am
Yeah.
disappointed that we didn't make the favorite top 10 podcasts of 2020. I think
Should have posted there.
if I ever looked at Ian World, I would have nominated us.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So
What else we
man.
got? Fallout 2D20 we talked about a little bit.
Oh,
Legends
that's
of
right.
Grayskull, Masters of the
Ooh.
Universe.
Iron Kingdom's Requiem. All right. I thought Kings of War was out already. Oh
Oh,
man.
I'm not sure. Yeah, Iron Kingdoms. We played that one a whole bunch the first time.
Yeah.
Level Up is Ian World's own they're trying to Pathfinder 5th Ed, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. I actually Zombicide Chronicles. That looks interesting. And
Mhm.
Werewolf Apocalypse 5th edition. Talking about their variation, they're trying to Pathfinder 5e, and that's something I've seen talked about on Reddit recently. Is a lot of people are talking about Dungeons and Dragons 5.5 or even 6 based on Tasha's and the way that they kind of revamped some of the classes and created more options. If you remember in 4th edition, they released the
Yeah.
Essentials. The Essentials were a reimagining of some of the base classes in a new kind of different way of working within the system, and it kind of felt like a 4.5, but a 4.5 that was completely playable with 4, and it was just an advance.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't do super well, which is unfortunate because it was really good. Yeah, and so maybe Ian World is taking that chance. They're like, okay, well, Paizo kind of made their name on Pathfinder whenever 4th edition was coming out. So let's stake our claim. Let's make our variation of D&D. That way, we're ready as soon as fifth or the sixth edition comes out or whatever, we could say, okay, well, all your
Right.
stuff is compatible with us. You can just stay with us and go forward.
Mhm. Yeah, and since the license is reasonably open for that sort of thing,
Hmm.
that should be fine. So I'm excited to see what they do. I mean, they've been doing those quick starters is one of their big things. Like they're just up for 2 weeks and they
Hmm.
publish in the next 2 weeks, very quick things.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what they do. They've got a couple previews out right now. I want to check out. Also on that list that I was excited about was Roots, just to take us off in a different direction completely.
Oh, yeah.
Another game of playing, little woodland creatures at war.
Right.
uh, could be fun. That game is really exciting to me. I love the concepts. I love the gameplay. Um, I love the idea of this angry cat emperor, like Prince John from Robin Hood, just being
Oh,
is it Prince John who I'm thinking of?
yeah.
Just being
Yeah, I think so.
terrible and
Yeah.
everyone rising to rebel against them. That's the plot of Root, and I think that would be a fun zone for a role playing game.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question about Ian World. So I used to occasionally pop over to Ian World during the heyday of fourth edition,
Yeah.
and it was a pretty toxic forums. Like the forums were awful.
Mhm.
Has that improved over the years?
They have done some specific work there in the forums. Yeah, I've been following this site since it used to belong to Eric Noah. It was transferred
Hmm.
to Morris at some point in the process. I don't know when. But
Yeah.
they have made that a goal. I don't
Okay.
look at forums a whole lot just in general. So,
Yeah.
but they have been trying to work on that.
But yeah, like I've really not paid much attention to Ian World since fourth edition because of that. Like I went there and
Yeah.
it was just so much poison. Now I just forever have this feeling whenever someone says Morris or Ian World in the back of my head where I'm
Mhm.
just like, ugh. And
That's fair. That's fair.
it's not Morris or Ian World's fault. It's just like my
Mhm.
experience during the days of fourth edition with the forums. It was just so bad. Oh man.
Yeah. Forums were, yeah, RPG forums, just
Right.
period. I could
You
never
know,
find a good one, and so I got way out of it.
yeah, the four op the care op 4e forums were a lot of fun. People were
Right.
generally pretty chill there. The 4e
Mhm.
forums overall were pretty good. But you know,
I was
there's a lot about that game that was pretty good that people
what was
ignored.
oh yeah, I mean that's for sure. That's for sure. I think back in early third ed, like I might have still been in college, and I applied to be like a moderator on the Wizards boards, and
Hmm.
that lasted for I think 2 weeks. I was like, nah.
Oh
I thought this would be fun. This is not fun.
no, being a moderator it's not fun.
No,
Oh man.
yeah.
All
Thank you,
right, so
moderators.
all right. Thank you, moderators, for doing all your awesomeness. A couple other things that have popped up across my news scanning. RPG categories for the Origins Awards have changed. Yeah, again.
Yes.
Uh, so the new changes are going to be it'll be awarded like best role playing games core rule set, best role playing games supplement, best role playing games adventure. So that
Mhm.
means now the full list of categories is board games family, board games general, board game historical, board game party light, board game strategy heavy, card game collectible, digital adaptation of a physical game, which is a new category, miniatures game historical, then RPG
Oh,
core rules, RPG supplement, RPG adventures, and then the best game accessory. Um, I would even, I still think they should do like role playing games organized play adventure because that's a very different feeling than an adventure, right? Because in adventures you're going up
yes.
against
Yeah.
probably things like Rime of the Witch, Rime of the Frost Maiden. Meanwhile, you're trying to throw your 4-hour one-shot adventure
Uh-huh.
to go up against that. It's not it's not a good
Not the same.
comparison.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Yeah. And there's a lot of like one shots on DM's Guild, like single
yeah,
adventures that would also fit in that
mhm,
category much better than it does against something like Rime of the Frost Maiden. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And then
Yeah. They'll get there.
my last important bit of news is Star Wars: The Book of Boba Fett has been officially announced for Disney Plus.
Uh-huh.
I think it's been enough time. If you haven't watched it, it's fine. Everything's fine. They announced a Boba Fett TV show. It doesn't spoil
Right. There
anything.
we go.
You can still watch The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Um, I am. It's interesting. Boba Fett has never been a character that I've really dug into because
Right.
they're, honestly, in the movie, kind of a minor villain. They're there. They're a little frightening, but they never really hit it for me. I
Yeah.
think it also matters that Empire is the movie that was never on TV when I was a kid. It was always Star
Oh.
Wars or Return of the Jedi, and so Empire is this like hidden gem for me. It's like I always want to watch it because I didn't get to see it that much. Maybe that changes my perspective, but
Yeah.
Boba Fett was never it for me.
Yeah, he wasn't for me growing up either. I was a huge Jedi fan. Like, that was the
Mhm.
one that I loved the most. I liked it when the hero finally got to be the hero. I
Yeah.
like the conclusion of the hero's journey. I think it's fantastic. It's fun.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, there we go. Yeah, killed all for the Fett Man. Yeah, and
Mhm.
and now the thing is, my perspective has changed due to Mandalorian, and the
Mhm.
way that actor, I can't remember, man, I can't remember his name. The
Can't either.
amazing actor who's playing Boba Fett, who played Jango Fett, who play,
Yeah.
I I
Mhm.
I loved the prequels. I'm one of those. And so like I just love that they brought him back and he is doing something
Yeah.
with that character that has never been done before. My favorite
Mhm.
Jango or my favorite Boba Fett story is actually from the um, what is it? There was a series of books in the 80s, 90s called about those bounty hunter books. Yeah, there we go. Tamura Morrison. He's so good. He's so good. I'm so happy for him.
That's
But
true.
it was a book of just stories about the bounty hunters. And my favorite
Mhm.
bounty hunter was always Forlom and Zuckuss. But in there's a great story about Dengar rescuing Boba Fett from the Sarlacc pit. So so
Oh,
Dengar
wow. Wow, wow.
is the one with who looks like he has like toilet paper wrapped around his head.
Okay,
Forlom
okay.
and Zuckuss are the bug creature and his like bug creature looking C3PO droid.
Amazing. Gosh,
And
I don't
those have
know that
always
much
been my
about these
favorite. And
characters.
I was also in the 501st. I used to dress up like a
Oh, yeah?
stormtrooper.
Nice. Nice.
I was one of
Wow,
those
wow.
nerds.
That's awesome. Um, we
But
uh, we joke about it every once in a while because when the first prequel movie came out, um, I had the day, and so I spent 12 hours in line waiting for to get our seats, like also to
yeah,
get our tickets.
uh-huh.
That was me.
Yeah,
That was me.
yeah,
And I actually like those, and I agree with you. Like those gave me the perspective, like, ooh, Django Fett, I can get behind the. Oh, I get it now. Okay, I get it. So for
mhm,
me, it is like that lineage going forward has really kind of helped me empathize a little bit more, like get on board, get on the Fett
yeah,
train.
yeah, yeah. I waited in line for all three of the prequels.
Mhm.
The including dressing up like a stormtrooper. I dressed up like a stormtrooper for the premiere of the Clone Wars movie, not the Clone Wars as the second of the prequel, but the animated one that
Mhm.
introduced Ahsoka.
Right?
And that was a ton of fun. And yeah, it was so good.
That's amazing.
Also, yeah, Kilton Hudson. Yeah, that book is so good. It's totally worth reading if you're interested in the expanded universe. It's the Tales of the Bounty Hunters. It's it's similar to like the Tales of Han Solo. Like he has a prequel book as
Mhm.
well, and it's I don't think any of it's canon anymore, but it's still good stories.
That's good. Wow. Wow. That was more Star Wars talk than I was expecting today. That's fantastic.
I mean,
um,
I should really run a Star Wars game sometime. I have all of the not the saga books, the D20 saga, but right before D20 saga, I have all of the books for that version of the D20 Star Wars, and then I have most of the
okay.
saga books, and then I have some of the D6 books. So
That's the only one I ever played.
I'm ready. I
Yeah.
never played D6.
Awesome.
I bought the books, but I never played it, and I'm dying to play
Oh
it.
my gosh. So ridiculous. It felt so good when my heavy blaster skill went from 4d6 to 5d6. Oh my god. I didn't need Shadowrun.
No, no, no. It's and thinking about Fallout, maybe that would be another system that you could slap Fallout on top of is the Star Wars
Oh sure.
D6.
I think so. It didn't feel it didn't have quite the same epic moments because, like any system like that, you roll the dice and then you have to spend time counting, and it does. You don't get that instant like yes,
Yeah,
but it was fun. We had a lot of fun playing it.
yeah. I can't remember. Is it a success style where anything over like a 3 is a success and anything under is not? Or
I think that's
I can't.
right.
Yeah, I think that's right. I can't remember. But what
Hmm.
we did was we always would color the pips on our dice so
Hmm.
that any number that would be a success number for Shadowrun would be a success number was like white. If it was like a crit, it would
Oh,
be like blue. And then if it was a failure, it'd be red or black. And it was just quick sorting of dice.
oh, that's fantastic. I mean, then with that, then a system like the new Star Wars system, what is it, Shadows of the Empire, should be no
Yeah.
problem, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, Shadows of the
Wow.
Empire did a whole new dice system, and you have to buy special dice for that game.
Yes. Right. And it's got a couple more outcomes on there, but still, like once you get
Yeah.
that one, it feels like that would be the same thing.
Yeah. All right. Oh man. So we rambled for for about 20 minutes, getting our energy up and ready. But we all came here for a reason, and it's
Right.
because we are out of our depth. And this is our adventure that we have come up with over the past few weeks for an underwater adventure. So in this adventure, you are contacted by a person who says, "Hey, we need you to go to the shipwreck and retrieve this artifact." They are Priests of Bane posing as Ogma, who hire
Hmm.
your players for a ridiculous amount of money and send them off with a old grizzled captain who tells stories of the sea, and you have small little encounters, kind of like getting the feel of ocean. The ship drops anchor, or one of those random attacks is going to be a Sahagin fight. Should be fun.
Right.
Ship
Hmm.
drops anchor. He offers weighted belt and swim fins, which give a little bonus to people without a swim speed. And then they go going down. So while they're going down, we're going to work things about like light and pressure and cold, and then the occasional small baddies being thrown at them. Once they get to the bottom, they have a water or they have a map that's waterproof. Gives them a general idea of the wreck's location. And at the edge of the shelf, continental shelf, they look over and they see a ship. Encircled by hundreds of sharks, the ship lays in a graveyard of bones. So they have to make their way
Yes.
onto the ship somehow. And while down there, they have to. They have to. Where is it? What's the name of that weird monster? Oh yeah, the Mausicola from Saltmarsh. We're gonna have one of those in there just to kind of, cause a little bit of trouble. But they're gonna find the box,
Right.
and
Right.
we've decided the box is going to be like in a bubble. And there's a riddle on the box that's pretty easy for them to figure out. And then, due to strange properties of the box has a protective shell of air around it. Calls to the strongest predators in the ocean. Eventually, they're probably going to open it, and they're going to have to fight a Merid. And there's several different places where a Merid will be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
whew, I think that's our thing. So and then we
Yeah.
got a little lost, like using the boat as a layer, talking about some boat upgrades, boosts for your captain, like giving him a fancy hat,
Hmm.
special helpers like first mates. What do they do for you? And that led us to
Right.
deciding that next week we will talk about. Do we want to talk about pirates or do we want to talk about life on a ship? So we'll figure
Ooh.
that out.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because we were talking about giving them this huge reward at the start, right? You're on this for tons of gold, and of course you're not going to get any of it because you are
Why?
being betrayed. So,
Well, you're heroes. Why
so
would you
what?
expect to actually get the gold you were promised?
Well, I see we run different campaigns. um, yeah, so giving them that big boat sounds like a lot of fun. But we could talk about that later. We have to dig into one of these encounters, really, right, and kind of flesh the
Yeah.
whole thing out. Um, and as you were going through, right, you were talking about them. We have the Sahagin attacking the boat itself before they dive. We have some small encounters that we haven't really created.
Yeah.
Some small underwater things. We have the sneaking past the ring of sharks, potentially attacking a few of them.
Yeah.
We have the fight in the ship itself,
Hmm.
and then we have the Merid encounter.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
yeah.
I kind of love the Merit encounter just because, like,
Hmm.
I like boss fights. I think boss fights are fun, but also the
Yeah.
Sahagin attacking the ship could be kind of fun too. Trying to figure out a way to because I haven't looked at D&D Beyond, but I'm gonna take a quick look. I think the Sahagin are a relatively low rating as
Hmm.
far as challenge rating, and
Yeah.
so it might be interesting to figure out another reason or another way to defeat that fight uh instead of just fighting them all off. Like eventually, like they'll just keep coming, but there's something you have to
Yeah.
do to eventually win. Yeah, so they're challenge rating 1/2.
Right.
So that means feasibly we could send a bajillion of them at the players. So
I'm
those are
so
my two
excited.
thoughts.
Yeah. I'm just doing a bad thing right now.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
because a couple years ago, I think,
Hmm.
uh, I wrote an encounter that was very similar to kind of this. It is a shipboard attack. And put it in a
Okay.
book that came out called the Lonely Scroll Adventure Contest, a set of one-page dungeons,
Hmm.
and it was ridiculous. And so I basically like drew this ridiculous ship and put little stick figure monsters all over it, just kind of to see the whole thing.
Hmm.
And so it gave me a couple of thoughts on this sort of thing because yeah, we can have a ton of Sahagan, but also like what are the things that they could bring with them to really scare people? Are there
Hmm.
Sahagan champions? Are there these characters that are going to really make this threatening, or is it just a horde attack?
Yeah.
Because both of those can be fun.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
that's definitely good thought. I like I like either option, but I
mhm.
like that the fact that the encounter shouldn't end when X amount of Sahagin are dead. That they just
Yeah,
keep coming, right? So it has a little bit of that horde mentality.
right.
But it can also have like the champions that show up and this type of stuff.
Mhm.
And just so long as there's like a third option, right? The third option or the
Yeah,
third target, and that third target is what ends the encounter.
right. Um,
I mean, it could be a number of
so I,
rounds. It could be a number of Sahagin
yeah,
killed. Uh,
mhm.
could be a number of like
Right.
Sahagin champions killed. Like maybe every 3 Sahagin, eighth Sahagin champion comes, and it's 5 of those.
Ooh. So that's a lot like some of the battles in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You fight these mercenary armies, or you're battling the opposing army, but there's a couple of mercenaries in there, and you are
Hmm.
trying to fight them, right? Just like every big battle mode in any RPG actually needs to be. Your characters can't stop the army; you have to stop the things. Um, so I guess that's the question. Are we doing something like a huge battle, or is it something like Aquaman, right? That's kind of where
Hmm.
this inspiration came from. Like we're
Yeah.
trying to get somewhere or do a thing, because we're never going to be able to stop this horde. We just have to escape. Or is it a save the ship moment? Um, are the Sahagan trying to take your ship down, and if you can stop the ones who are trying to sabotage your ship, the rest of them flee?
Yeah, I think it's a save the ship. I like that. Save the ship
Okay.
moment, right? And
Yeah.
so working backwards, they want to
Working
save the ship.
backwards.
They want to save the ship. What is it that they have to accomplish in order to save the ship?
So let's see. Um, when I was writing this other one, my idea was that there was like a Sahagin Baron hanging around on they had broken through the bottom level of the ship, so
Hmm.
they were being attacked from the top. But this was the thing that mattered.
Okay.
Um, so they needed to like get down there to face this creature and stop this breach from happening.
Yeah, and
Um,
we're on a pretty small boat,
yeah, right.
so
So
that it might be a
under
little bit
decks is harder.
Yeah, what if we did something like there are, X waves of Sahagin,
Mhm.
and in each wave there is a one that stands out for reasons, right?
Mhm.
And we'll call that one. That one will be the saboteur, right?
Right? And it could be special Sahagan. It could be like giant crabs with like, crystalline pincers ready to punch through the boat. They
Yep.
could have some water elemental friends. The thing is actually going to damage the boat. You have to stop. Um,
Right. And that's what I'm thinking is what we'll
whatever that
do is
is. Yeah.
it'll be a little bit of an endurance. So what we'll do is we'll do like 5 waves. We'll call it 5 waves. not 65 waves. We'll go 5 waves of Sahagin.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to teach a lesson, right? So wave 1 will be 2 Sahagin and 1 Saboteur. We haven't figured out what the Saboteur is going to be, but it'll stand out in a way, right?
Right.
And
This is
then
oh.
yeah. Ooh.
I'm so excited
And
because this is just like the Destiny encounter we were playing yesterday.
yep, that's what I'm thinking,
Which I
right?
love.
Then
Exactly. You
if
know the thing you must stop.
right, exactly. And then if they kill the Saboteur first or defeat the Saboteur first,
Mhm.
Saboteur first, uh, the other Sahagin, they jump off the ship,
Okay.
right? So that's round 1. And you make it very easy, very obvious that once they take out that, they're good. Now, wave 2 is where stuff gets interesting, right? Because now we need to make it actually a challenge. We gave them wave 1
Mhm.
to kind of figure out the system. Now wave 2, now like it's 10 Sahagin
Right.
and 1 Saboteur.
Right. That's enough that the Sahagan are no longer like incidental damage, right? They're a threat.
Right.
You've
Mhm.
got to be able to deal with that, and you have to stop this other thing.
Yeah.
This is a good time to probably also jump in that the boat should have, like, are we going to jump in and add hardness and hit point rules to the boat? What does, a saboteur punch or a single successful attack do to the ship? How many can it take?
Yeah, and
That's
I
yeah.
always like 3s for things like that. So 3
Hmm.
Saboteurs, it's a failure, right? 3
Okay.
Saboteurs get below decks,
And it for 5 waves, that sounds great. 3 versus 3.
right?
Hmm.
So if 3 Saboteurs get below decks or to a certain point on the boat, right? And
Yeah.
we can mark that off on boat. So 5 waves. First wave is a cake. Wave 2 is 10 Sahagin and 1 Saboteur. And then wave 4. Actually, wave 4 is, going to be 15 because these should be pretty trivial fights for them, like the Sahagin, and so should a Saboteur for all that matters, right? These all should be pretty quick. So this is a lot of them just piling on. And
Hmm.
then finally for wave 5, it's like 10 Sahagin again.
Yeah.
And 10 Sahagin, 2 Saboteur, and some kind of elite, right? Like another
Right.
monstrous creature that will actually be a challenge.
Hmm.
So let's go to our good old D&D Beyond. Let's look at our monsters. Let's go and check our environment. We're going to do underwater. And let's go challenge rating. Let's go challenge rating of at least a 5. So let's see
Right. We
here.
want these to be a little more serious.
Yeah, at least a 5, but no higher than like a 7. So there we go. And then size, we're probably going to want a medium or a large. There we go. Now we just use all those filters and we see what comes up. Ooh, there we go, right there. A Sahagin Baron. That's perfect.
Yep.
So a little bit more of a challenge. Still not a huge
Hmm.
challenge, just a little bit more to kind of give a little spice to that last round. And so then
Right.
we throw the Sahagin Baron at him.
One thing I do like about them, I mean, they just feel like they should be surrounded by a shark or two as well. I mean, I know that's outside of our bounds, but it's going to give us that hint for the future too. Like
Yeah.
you start researching the Sahagan and you're like, oh, yeah, usually they're surrounded by sharks.
Mhm.
Something must have taken all their shark friends. I wonder where they are.
Yeah. 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 Let's see. A high, let's see, what's the terms I use? A high check. We'll do that. A high check on Sahagins. Lets the players know.
Nature. I do nature
Yeah.
for most things.
Yeah. What are they though? They are large humanoids. Yeah, probably nature. Okay, you're right. Let's go nature. Yeah, a large nature check on Sahagin. So like DC 20 gets them information that says their little boat should have been surrounded by sharks.
Right.
Okay. All right.
All right. But yes, Sahagin Barons are, other than that, pretty good. I mean, mostly physical, so we're not too worried about spells or anything coming through from these characters.
Yeah.
We've got to give them something, the sabotage elements of whatever they have.
Yeah. Like it could really be something simple like one of the Sahagins has a backpack on them and
Mhm.
or a bag, they're carrying a bag, and as soon as they drop the bag, like acid or something comes out of it and starts burning holes into the deck, right?
Right. I
But
like
it
this
takes them
because not only, yeah.
it takes them an action to
Mhm.
do it, so that if you kill them, you don't necessarily like trigger this effect. But
Right, so that they can potentially have this themselves for later
yeah,
on. Yeah, they've got these strange watery explosives.
yeah, yeah. The
um,
saboteurs are normal Sahagin with
yeah,
an
I like that
extra
idea a
attack.
lot.
Let's see, and then yeah, so it would be an action. Go under actions, and it would be one of their attacks. So it would be like bomb. Let's see here. Thought I was on my mech. All right, bomb drop, and then it. Oop, uh, no. Oh yeah, that's right. Then I have to do what? Ranged. Ranged weapon attack.
Oh, yeah.
And then we can finally do the quick breakdown where it um, does um, X amount of damage to wooden objects,
Right.
and half damage to creatures. There we go. Perfect. And we'll figure out whatever that
That sounds
damage
good.
is so that we know that 3 of these will take out the ship and make it inoperable ish.
Right, exactly.
Which then means if the players lose, what happens?
Right, so the ship is scuttled. It starts sinking, and we've got these Sahagin here, so it's probably pretty deep, right?
Yeah.
So we might have to end up on with a boat near shore doing repairs. This is a cool moment, I think. Where we could add a new spell if we wanted to. There
Oh,
could be the captain has a version of mending, which is a little bit better. Like it's a ritual, it's a long-term cast, but
yeah.
maybe it can repair. Because of course, there should be that spell in D&D. There's enough ships out there. There needs to be a boat mending ritual of some kind.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe they're off for a while. Like, are they fixing the boat for a bit? Are they close enough that the heroes can just continue while the captain fixes the ship?
Yeah.
Does the ship
I
sink?
yeah. I think what happens. I love all these ideas. I think what happens is after the third bomb, the Sahagin jump ship and just wait, right? Because they expect the
Mhm.
heroes to sink and they're sick of getting beat up, so they're gonna fight them in their own turf, right? So the Sahagin
Yeah.
jump in the water and wait for the boat to sink.
Mhm.
Okay.
Which makes sense. They've done their ambush. They're ready.
So then, like, it's a skill challenge, right? To
Mhm.
get the boat to a small nearby island, and once there, they can cast a ritual.
Right.
Okay, and
I was
then
just looking at the mending spell, and it's so small. It's like mending like links in a chain. this is going to take more work than that.
Yeah. That's why we use our ship ritual for mending,
Mhm.
and
And
we
then
lean into
maybe,
that a little bit. Yeah,
we make that a spell. We allow the players even to learn that at some point. Could be interesting. But of course, a ship's
yeah,
captain is going to want that one, especially running around solo in dangerous waters.
yeah. And then while they're doing the skill challenge, I don't want them to be able to completely fail this, like normal skill
Yeah.
challenge, like 6 successes before 3 failures. Knowing a failure brings a wave of Sahagin.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, also, this could lessen their rewards at the end, right? We want to give them this ship.
Right.
But now maybe it's got fewer hull points or whatever we were talking about, whatever system we devise for upgrades.
Yeah.
Maybe it's been weekend. It needs to get back to starting. You have to pay for that before you can get more upgrades.
Yeah.
Keep
Keep
bailing
bailing that
water.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A poor ship. A poor ship.
All right. Oh man. Bailing water. Yeah. So
Hmm.
for the skill challenge, you can think about things like bailing water,
Hmm.
uh, uh, filling holes,
Yeah, filling holes.
repairing.
You gotta get down there like patching the hull somehow.
Yeah, repair sails.
Hmm.
Right. You
Yeah.
just have all these things that you can kind of do to keep the boat afloat. You could even have someone who is doing the skill check is fight off Sahagin, right?
Could be. Yeah.
Because now the scene is you're trying to escape, and the Sahagin are just kind of circling the boat, waiting for it to just go away.
Hmm.
So so someone could be just like fighting off the Sahagin, so they don't get on the ship while everyone's trying to fix it. Like have something for everybody
Yeah.
to do.
Hmm.
Um, and then it's like you can do an easy DC for this, right? That's an easy DC. This is a moderate DC. Uh, and this one's a hard DC, right? And then
Right.
you could use different skills, like let the players get creative. Like okay, I'm gonna use my knowledge of Arcana to calculate the best way to fill this hole to prevent it from further splintering, right? Sure,
Hmm.
right? Oh, whatever.
Yeah. Why not? Absolutely.
Yeah, if you could
Gosh,
justify it, do it.
this is great. And they're gonna get to the island. They're gonna
Mhm.
be able to find some safety at the end of this challenge. Just the challenge determines whether the ship is, how salvageable is it? There we go. So
Right.
I like that. You succeed at the skill challenge, it's got 7 points. You succeed at the combat, it is 10. If you fail both, it's down to like 3.
Right.
You can build
Yeah.
it back, no problem. But
Yeah, and and then the players are going to be kind of demoralized after this.
mhm.
So are going to be a little demoralized. So we have to throw them a bone. Yes,
Yes, yes.
they can get a long rest on the island.
Right. Right. And honestly, maybe what we do for this is because they've had to do all this extra stuff, we could even say that it's much easier to plot the course from this island. They figure out where they are, and so they can
Yep.
skip some of the trivial, not trivial, but some minor combats that they have along the way. Um, Whereas the ones who are successful, they're sailing, they think they know where they are, but they dive
Yeah.
in and they have to fight a couple more times, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. This allows them to skip some of the minor combat skill challenges.
Mhm.
They're spending time
Yeah.
on the island, so maybe they get all of the captain's stories, right? Just right off the
Hmm.
bat. He just tells them, it takes a couple of days for this ritual. So you're just on
Yeah.
a island paradise for a few days while this ritual is going on. And you just have to listen to the captain regale you with stories and you have to fish.
Right. Yeah.
So,
And maybe now you also know the location of this island that was in this dangerous zone people don't go to. Like you've
yeah.
kind of got an island now.
You kind of got an island. Yeah, you maybe there's like a little shack on it that's been
Mhm.
long since abandoned, and you can kind of brush it up, and
Yeah.
you have your new base of operations. Uh, and
As
you
long as there's a
find a
flag.
right, yeah. Well, you find the flag, and then you dig under the flag, and that's where you find the rum.
Exactly. Right. I think that's a fun little shipwrecked scene that you could build there pretty easily. Um, it doesn't give, I think, too much to those players versus the ones who fail the combat. Different
Right.
routes, but I like that.
Yeah, yeah. It gives them a little bit different action, right? The rewards
Mhm.
will be a little bit different at the end. Sure, maybe they have to work on trying to get their ship kind of up and rolling, but they got a
Mhm.
sweet island, right? And they know this is an island that they can, uh, you know, uh, bring their ship to get repairs, to do,
Right.
uh, you know, getting. Oh man, I'll have all my sailing terms ready for next week, but
Okay. Good.
scraping the holes and getting rid of all the
Yeah.
various creatures that grab
S-
onto it, and you have this nice
some
place.
barnacles on the baleen, and yeah,
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 yeah, yeah. I'll be
yeah.
ready next time.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that sounds good. I
Ah,
like this split. This horde is really fun. Um,
yeah,
both I think for running it, it's going to be fun to kind of just be like, all right, now off the front of the boat. Here comes the next one. See, I'll get my sailing terms next time too.
yeah.
Um,
Fore
but
aft.
but that sounds kind of fun. You've got your battle map down maybe, and there's combat over here. Now there's combat over here. People have to run back and forth. Um, that sounds exciting.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll get to a point where it's like, oh, the spell that you cast is actually for the first wave is still messing with the third wave now that they're coming in.
exactly. Yeah, and that's
Mhm.
the kind of stuff that we can put in a little bit of yeah, bow and stern also. Yep, yep. Fore and aft, bow and stern. Of course, port and starboard. Like we got all the directions. Um,
It's gonna happen.
it's gonna happen. We'll be so prepared for next week. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think this is a fun encounter. This is a
Mhm.
kind of a fun way to do a an ocean encounter.
Mhm.
I like the more, how do you say it, marathon style encounters sometimes,
Uh-huh.
because you are just throwing so many creatures at the PCs that it's a whole lot of chaos. But at the same time,
Mhm.
it's there's a lot of room for the players to do really creative things, like I'm going to use this spell and I'm going to blast 5 of them
Yeah.
off the decks. Awesome, right? It's a great time to use
Right.
Thunderwave. Um,
Right. I also like the idea. I know we're getting into the next thing, right? But if we build this ship up so that it is like, a mobile base of some kind,
yeah.
maybe the captain has a lair action that they can use,
Oh,
like
yeah.
they can help out a little bit. And maybe that's just, like what spinning the sail in the yard arm, blah, blah, smacking some people into the water or something like that. Or maybe the ship does have like some, not a lot of cannons, but maybe a single one, a very small
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe the boat has a cannon
mhm.
or two.
Maybe it's not
Uh,
great. So it's like, it's a layer action, top of the round. Maybe it's got a recharge so they can't do it every turn.
yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and that's kind of a fun idea, right? Let's give the boat 2 layer actions, right? And yeah, so let's give the boat 2 layer actions.
Yes.
2 layer actions that are controlled by the current captain.
Maybe the captain asks for feedback after the first round or
Yep.
something. I don't know. But
Yep. Yeah. Planning forward, maybe you can, once we get into our ship supplement, you can, using our sweet ship supplement
Mhm.
uh, that we'll design here on chat, or sweet ship supplement that will allow you to add and change layer actions up to a certain amount.
Mhm. I thought layer actions is a fun way to actually run that. I like that idea. This is good. So yeah, maybe a small cannon for one that's pretty easy to spin
Hmm.
around. Um, Not like a wall of cannons or something
No,
along the
no, no.
sides,
More,
but
more, more like a small cannon, like on the bow of a boat, like
yeah.
this size of a cannon, not a
Hmm.
10-pounder. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I like it. Yeah, no, that opens up like so many more fun options with this mobile layer that your
Hmm.
characters are slowly building and developing, and it could really just be a very fun aspect, right? Like
Yeah.
how many adventures do you like? So, for example, like before COVID hit, I was setting up Troll Skull Manor for my players to be their home base. That
Mhm.
would be a great place where you could set up a few lair actions if they were in a fight in their home base. Of course, they have these actions because they know how to
Right.
use it's their home, right? Like even
Hmm.
even in our homes, right? If something happens, you could do something, right? And
Right.
even if it's as simple as my layer action is lock the door, crawl under bed, and call
Sure.
my mom,
Hmm.
that's a layer action because it's my layer, it's my action.
Yeah. 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 Right. And we're used to monsters having them, but you're
Yeah.
developing them right here, which could be
Hmm.
very fun.
Yeah.
I also like that it gives the captain something to do besides like I am
Yes.
steering the ship and that's what I do. They're
Right.
running around, they're setting this cannon up, they're aiming it, they're running back, making sure they don't run into a reef or something. Yeah,
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I love
rocks,
it.
probably rocks where we are.
Probably rocks. Lots of rocks. And different things like ocean animal, plants, corals, things.
Right? Absolutely.
Oh man. Hey, let's next Sunday. Let's remember it's Sunday before it's like almost time.
All right.
I
I think I'll be done
I
with my puzzle by then.
Oh man, I had such a rough time waking up this morning. But oh man, this is such a good encounter. We
Yeah.
got a lot of great
No, I
stuff
am.
out of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this. This will be fun.
Hmm.
Oh my
And yeah,
gosh.
so much good stuff here. All right.
Wow. Well, this has been good. This is a good end of the year. This is our final show of 2020, and I think that's a fun encounter.
I think it's a
So
great
nicely
encounter.
done. Hmm.
Yeah. One of my New Year's resolutions is to find the time and start filling in all the blanks in all these
Hmm.
adventures we're writing. So I'm hoping for it. And
I hear you. I hear
I
you.
was starting with our great cook off, but now I'm kind of leaning towards this one. Like I think maybe this one might be a little bit more engaging to kind of dig into with you and totally fill out.
Yeah. This extra ship part is ridiculous. I love bases,
Right.
so that's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Oh
it's
man.
just a good adventure.
Cool. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. Um, Make sure to like, subscribe, follow us, all those things. If you're on YouTube, it's over there. Why do I always think it's over here? It's over there. If you're on
It's up
Twitch,
there.
there's like a little heart somewhere down there. You can follow us on the social medias. It's soup.fyi/whatever social media you want to find us on. And it's true.
Perfect.
I set it up like that. Instagram is actually Insta, so just shorten it there. And yeah, I guess. Oh, that's right. So this Thursday is New Year's Eve. I will be streaming um, after the Double Clicks New Year's show. They're going from 7:30 to like 9:30 ish. As soon as they're
Uh-huh.
done, I'm gonna change the studio around. And I'm gonna start DJing. Hopefully, I will make it to a little bit after midnight Pacific Standard Time. Come hang out, join us. Might have some guests. Might have Aubrey come hang out with me a little bit. And then next Saturday, because I slept through my stream yesterday, I'm going to have Aubrey on to play cello with me while I DJ house music next Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Very nice. Very
I think I got
nice.
all my shout outs.
Wow. Good work.
You got anything to shout out before I wrap us up?
Oh my gosh. No, I am on break.
All right. Well,
I'm taking a
enjoy
week
your
off from it.
yeah. All right, cool. We'll talk to you all next week with I don't know, boats or pirates or something.
Boat time.